So, welcome to this class. And I know that nursing students, you're adult learners, you're really busy. I have posted information in an introductory announcement, but I thought I might also give you a kind of a video overview, almost reading word for word what's in those documents, because I know you guys are really busy, and this is an intense 5-week course, and it is something you signed up for. But I know that time is of the essence. So if you prefer to listen to me rather than read what I've written, I thought I'd go ahead and put together some video presentations throughout the course that I'll post throughout the course. So first of all, I want to kind of give you an overview of the course, and this information is really important for you to succeed in this class. I do expect certain standards academically. You are going to experiment in this class. You're going to think about things you've never thought about. It's a totally different kind of course when it comes to what your nursing curriculum is. It's touchy-feely. It's subjective it's objective. No, wait. It's subjective, which means a lot of it is based on how you feel about things rather than objective scientific or medical facts that you're probably learning in your other classes. So I just want to say this is a totally different kind of class, and I have laid out for you some hints, and I will also post an announcement on Monday of each week, as well as a video that kind of repeats the announcement, so you can use whatever method you prefer. And each week, I'm going to give you some hints for the upcoming class. So here we go. Here's your introductory hints. I'm glad you're here with us, and today marks the beginning of our class, and I'm looking forward to working with you over the next 5 weeks. This course, Ethical and Spiritual Decision Making in Healthcare, will be vital to your successful career in healthcare. A number of times students probably approach this class thinking, oh, this is going to be an easy one. This is kind of a fluff course. And I just want to encourage you, as you will learn in this class, to take seriously the spiritual care that nurses and those with frequent and prolonged access to the bedsides of our patients have, to take seriously the holistic spiritual, physical, mental care of our patients. Now, before we get into the meat of the course requirements, I want to emphasize to you at the beginning of each week, I will post a class announcement, as I mentioned. It is essential that you read every announcement and integrate the hints into your classwork. These announcements contain information that will help you earn good grades on your assignments and I think maximize your learning opportunities. If you have any questions throughout the course, I prefer to correspond with you via the individual forum rather than email. I don't check my email as frequently. I also like to have our conversations on the individual forum so that they're easily accessible by either myself or by you. My phone number, if you need to call me, is 571-337-9874. Again, that's 571-337-9874 if you need to speak to me. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. until 8:30 p.m., and I'm on the East Coast. So if it's after 8:30 a.m. or p.m., if it's after 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast and you try to call me, I likely will not pick it up. And honestly, sometimes around 7:30 on the East Coast, I start to zone out and put something on the TV, but I'll get back to you. Either way, I will get back to you. Please take time to review the contents of the course button bar that you have in LoudCloud. Remember the resource button particularly has the syllabus in it. The syllabus contains the assignment rubrics that I'll be using to grade your work. And if you haven't done so already, please review the APA Guidelines version 7. There's some slight changes for 300 and above level academic papers. That's found under the Resources button as well. And it's in the Student Success Center drop-down option. These guidelines cover paper organization, citation, and references. The APA guidelines also define cover page, introduction, and abstract requirements. Now, you're only going to be required to format your paper via or according to APA formatting for your 4th week assignment on death and dying. However, whatever kind of formatting you choose to use in weeks 1, 2, 3, and 5, doesn't have to be APA formatting. Whatever you choose to use during that time, it needs to be consistent. Your formatting needs to be consistent. And also, your citations, both your in-text and your reference page, must be, for every assignment, formatted according to APA guidelines. The grading rubrics are what are used to evaluate your assignments. You have your assignment guidelines, your requirements, and then you have the grading rubrics. And I grade according to that grading rubric, which includes the requirements, but it's a little more specific at times as well. Make sure you review the grading rubric for each assignment in this course. And please note that when the rubric calls for a thesis, your paper will need to begin with an introduction that should include a well-developed thesis, as well as a brief overview of what your paper will discuss in light of your thesis and the assignment requirements. I prefer to have an introduction and conclusion for weeks 1, 2, 4, and 5. Week 3 is kind of a format. It's a form that you fill out, and so that's not as critical there. But I like to see an introduction with a thesis and a conclusion for all your papers, and though not required necessarily, I look favorably upon that because it's a way for you to help organize your thoughts and organize the paper. And it helps the reader as well kind of understand what's coming up in that paper. I also require section headings in your papers. That means that your papers will be divided into sections, and appropriate headings and subheadings, where necessary, will be used. Students sometimes use dictionary definitions in their papers. Please do not use a dictionary definition in your paper anywhere, in any paper, because dictionary definitions at the 400 level, and that's where we are in study, they lack the nuance or context necessary at this level. If you're going to define words, I want to see you use academic, more academic resources than checking it out in the dictionary. Regarding references, make sure that unless the assignment calls for a different number of references, any written assignment at this level should have at least 3 academic, and that means scholarly, references. Now, in this context, the Bible is not considered a scholarly or academic reference, though I do encourage you to use it as a reference. It just won't count as one of your 3 academic references. An assignment may ask you to use biblical references, but you'll still need at least 3 academic references. Most of your papers should not be written in the first person. That's I, we, our. A lot of times students like to say at the beginning, especially with an introduction, now we are going to examine. And I don't know where students get that because, and it sounds so scholarly, it sounds so cool, but it's not really appropriate. Use the third person. That's he, she, it, they. You can, if you're writing about yourself, you can say this author believes that, but you do want to write in the third person. Never write in the second person. That's you, yours, you can, or you have, or you must. Never use the second person in an academic or even a professional paper, and use the first person, only when you absolutely have to, which is the first paper. That's fine, but the other projects use it very sparingly. I do take off points in writing if you use the first or second person in your writing. Make sure you've reviewed the classroom policies regarding forum participation, assignment deadlines, etc. Go to the resources button, then click on the Student Success Center. And please note, you're expected to participate with substantial posts to the online forum a minimum of 3 days with at least two, hey, it's my cat, with at least two substantial posts. That's 3 days with at least two posts. A total of 6, that's your minimum, but it's not a minimum of 6 posts per week. It's a minimum of 3 days with 2 posts. Sometimes students say, well, I posted 6 times, and they maybe posted 1 post each time. That's each day. That's not adequate. You need to post, there need to be 3 days with at least 2 substantive posts. I do expect the DQ answer to be your own work, not the work of other sources. If I catch you cutting and pasting, it will be an automatic 0. That's plagiarism, and that's not acceptable, especially at a Christian Bible or Christian college. So I just want to encourage you to do your own work. Same with your papers. If I do review every Lopes Write report, and I just want to let you know that if for some reason you are cutting and pasting, or you're using online nursing papers, or you're using great essays, or some site where there are preformed essays, and I catch you, you will get a 0 for that paper, and I will file a form with the university. I'll give you an opportunity first to explain yourself, but then without a satisfactory explanation, I will submit a form to the university for an academic dishonesty report. So I know that it's a crunch for you. I know you're working 12-hour shifts, sometimes many days in a row, but this is something you signed up for, and it can be brutal at times. So read the material, absorb it, think about it, post, and do papers. I understand that, but there's never an excuse for plagiarism. So in addition, you're required to post 2 replies to your peers on 3 different days for a total of 6 responses per week, and that will get you that full participation credit, those 20 points for each week. A peer response, a response to one of your peers, must be substantive by bringing information to the discussion or further enhancing the discussion. Each peer response must have a minimum of 1 reference with citations. The best is a peer-reviewed article. Word count must be greater than 75 words, or at least 5 sentences in length. Statements like "I agree" or "great post" do not count for your word count or your sentences. A peer-reviewed article is an article that is submitted to a professional journal for publication. And for your initial DQ posts, you're required to have 150 words and I think 12 sentences and 2 peer review references. And I do expect them to be formatted according to APA formatting version 7. So both the in-text citation as well as the references at the bottom are required to be in APA formatting. Each week I'm going to post a specific classroom assessment tool, that's a CAT, that helps me gauge how well you're learning, a key component of that week's new information. The CAT will be posted within one of your DQs. You still need to respond to the DQ for points, but responding to the CAT does count as a participation post. Before you get too far into your class work, I just want to encourage you again to take some time and introduce yourself to us via the class wall. There you'll find information on other students as well as on me. Please make certain that you're aware of the assignment due dates. That information is in the course calendar. I penalize assignments that are late per the GCU guidelines of 10% graded penalty per day. I don't accept any excuses, including technical issues. My advice is that you work on your assignments early so that any internet, computer, health, or family emergencies do not hinder you from submitting your work on time. Also, this is very important. I do not accept any assignment for any reason after the end of the class due date. Get your work in with plenty of time to spare in case of technical issues. If you do have a health issue, I will review that, but you need to give me notice well in advance. If it's COVID or something similar to that, you need to give me advance notice. Sending me a message Sunday night at 8 o'clock is not gonna cut it. So you need to get your assignments in on time. And even with health issues, as I mentioned, get your work done early so that there are no problems with you submitting stuff on time. Every paper or chart submitted in this course will be required to have a Lopes Write report accompanying it. You are responsible to make sure that your paper is in on time, as is the Lopes Write report. And sometimes there's glitches in Lopes Write, so you don't want to wait until the last minute Sunday night just before the due time and date. When submitting your paper, make sure you click on the Submit button either under Citation Report in the old Loud Cloud or the Submit button for the Similarity Index under the new Loud Cloud LMS system. There's a link in this announcement for an article that will assist you with Lopes Write. You do have to submit your paper to Lopes Write. If you don't, there is a 10% penalty for that. If you have further questions about Lopes Write or submitting your paper, you can always contact tech support. I can't give technical answers. Sometimes I can help clarify something, but I can't give any kind of technical advice or help to students. A Lopes Write percentage of over 20% is going to be a problem. That means that, and you will lose 10%. That means that over 20% of your paper is from other sources, and that's not adequate learning. Certainly isn't at the level of an A, and so you will receive a 10% penalty for that. Chrome or Firefox work best with our learning system. Make sure that you upload everything to the Dropbox, the grade Dropbox, and that even after submitting it to Lopes Write, you make sure that you submit, click on the Submit button again so that your paper is then submitted. All right, well, this is a different kind of class for nursing students. I don't know how often you write papers in nursing, not very often, and it's challenging. This is, as I mentioned earlier, this is a subjective course. And sometimes nurses have problems adjusting to this kind of course. But listen, you all are spiritual, whether you're religious or not. You're all spiritual. You all have thoughts about what makes the world tick and how you should care for patients and care for yourself and the meaning of life. I want to encourage you just to experiment and just let your mind go in this class. You're going to be learning a lot of, as I mentioned before, touchy-feely things, and just enjoy that. Just relax and enjoy that. You do not have to be a Christian to succeed in this class. I want to make that very clear. This is a Christian school, and this class does focus primarily on Christian spirituality, and there's some reasons for that, because it is a Christian school, and also because we want to equip Christian nurses with kind of a foundation and a framework for ministering their calling as a nurse. But also, the vast majority, especially of elderly patients, are going to be Christian that you're going to come across. And so learning about the Christian faith, even if you're not familiar with it, is just a really good thing. You'll be quite an asset for your patients. But I do want to say that you don't have to be a Christian to succeed in this class. Whatever your beliefs, as long as you academically support your arguments or support your positions, you're going to do fine. There may be times in papers or in the discussion forum when I may present an alternative view to kind of get you thinking about some things, because I realize that for many of you, interacting with a reverend, a pastor, or a chaplain, a hospice chaplain, is pretty rare at an in-depth level. And so this is really an opportunity for you to ask questions, to express beliefs. And so sometimes I will come back with some alternative beliefs and maybe explain Christianity a little bit more. But I want you to know that will never, ever affect your grade. As long as you academically do a good job, you'll get a good grade here in this class. So with all that, it's a 21-minute video. With all that, I just want to say welcome. God bless you. Great to have you with us. And I look forward to reading your work.